Hello, good afternoon.
Hi,
Wow.
good afternoon, partner. Good afternoon to
Partner,
our
good
viewers.
afternoon.
It's more than a month, partner.
Yeah, it's
Hindi
almost
tayo
2 months.
nakapag-live. 2 months? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so yun
almost
lang
two
pala,
months.
ganun na pala katagal ano, na hindi tayo nakaka-live or hindi natin naman nami-met yung ating mga taga-subaybay. Oh, we miss you,
Yes, ayan,
my dear
nakompleto ulit
partner.
tayo.
I'm in the office. I'm in the
Yes, okay.
office.
It's okay.
We're
It's okay,
working.
dear.
So at first I was sick, and then I've been working. So sorry. Hello, good morning, everyone. I haven't been in the show for months and months now. So hello,
Pareha tayo
partners.
dito.
Yes,
Nabanhaw ko,
anytime.
resurrected.
Yeah, we miss you. We miss you. At saka
Yeah,
syempre,
this is
Yeah.
my
hindi lang
office.
kami.
This is my
Pati yung
cubicle.
ating mga
My
viewers.
messy, messy cubicle.
Mhm.
Ganun talaga kapag working
Ganun.
mode.
Mm.
Ayan,
Work
timing.
mode. Oo.
Timing. Kasi topic natin ngayon, mga mothers eh. So,
Mothers. Okay. Aba,
yeah.
none of us are mothers
Our
here.
mothers. We will
Actual
just share our
biological
personal
mothers.
experiences.
Mader-maderan lang.
Yeah, we will just share, of course, what we had experienced from our mothers.
Mothers na lang. As daughters na
Yeah.
lang tayo. Relate
Daughters
as
Mm.
tayo.
daughters.
Kaya,
Hindi kasi ano, kasi 'di ba
pamangkin also
next
na
next Sunday ano na eh, Mother's Day na next
Mother's Day
Sunday.
na.
Is
Oo.
it? Is it?
Yeah, it's May already.
Next Monday, May 8 na.
Ah, gosh.
May ano na,
We don't
May,
celebrate here kasi
no,
on the
it's May
same at
1.
the same time.
May
Kaya
1.
I'm a little ano na what do you call this?
Lost in the
Ignorante na sa mga what are the occasions there kasi we don't celebrate the same things here. It's
Mm.
Ramadan here, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard
uh,
it's Ramadan. So,
just a little over 1 week left until it's Eid Fitr.
Oh,
So bakasyon daw kami ng 1 week. Wow. So
wow. Wow. Buti pa, no?
kung
May
walang
1 week kayo,
plano,
no?
kukulong uli ako sa bahay.
Buti
akala
at may bakasyon kayo na 1 linggo. Sa
yeah.
amin
Oo.
dito, nagbakasyon
Oh,
din
by
kami
the way,
kasi
ladies,
1 linggo.
before I forget, I know we are used to talking in Taglish, but
Mhm.
if I may request, we would be speaking English today
Today.
because one
Okay.
of the mothers of my student in Vietnam PM'd me and
Mm.
said she is always watching our program. And even though
Oo.
she cannot really understand the whole thing, but she is watching.
Oh, so good
So
afternoon, ma'am.
yeah,
Thank you for
her name
watching.
is
Thank you for
is
watching our
Be.
show. Mhm.
Yeah, Mommy Be.
Oh, Mommy
Okay,
Bear.
from
Okay.
Vietnam and the whole family. A good
Mhm.
afternoon to you.
Yes. So
Ayan.
good
Okay.
afternoon.
Yes. So, before we talk about our topic today, which is mother's love,
Mother's
okay,
love.
let's have
Mhm.
a little what do you call this updating as to how are you ladies? It's been what
Well,
2 months?
yeah, it's more than, yeah, probably, and of course, still busy. Oh, I just left my work and take my lunch and of course prepare myself for this show this afternoon. Then after a while, after our show, I will go back, of course, prepare our rooms for our guests. It's because my
Mm,
staff is not available because of course it's weekend. At the same time, she will be returning on Monday, sorry, on Monday. So it's solo flight, so to speak. But then we're glad, partner, although not that we are glad because we experienced typhoon, but due to
mm,
the typhoon that we had experienced last previous days, of course we don't have a class for 2 days.
mm,
Then plus of course it's the Linden season. It's Holy Thursday and Friday, and so of course we had a long weekend then. So
mm.
somehow several days with the family. So I'm grateful and thankful, of course, that I've got also a chance to be with my family. as well as, of course, my mother went into surgery, eye surgery. And so I'm grateful and thankful that she's okay now.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Mhm.
How about you, Miss Oman Lyset? Obviously, you are working right now, and I think if I remember it right, the guy behind you is one of your bosses that you introduced to us way back last few months.
Mhm. Yeah.
You are on mute, darling. You are on
Hi!
mute. Seth, you are on mute. Mag-unmute ka.
Unmute ka muna.
Mag-unmute ka.
Hi,
Mm,
can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay. We
Okay.
allow
So
them here.
I'm with Dr. Arthur and Dr. Subramanian. They're my colleagues and my team members. Research namin.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking a thermal image of the electrical system here in our campus so that we can see how much the system has deteriorated over the years and if how much losses are contributing to the cost of the electricity and all that. So that's our research. So I've been busy with this since last week. We've been coming back to the college for thermal imaging. We bought a very expensive equipment equivalent to three Corolla cars worth
Wow.
na price niya. So we're a little na, scared of using it because it's so expensive. But we're excited to use it. It's a very high tech equipment.
Mhm.
So that's what we're doing now. Today is, I think, the third to the last day of the final exams. So there are students also coming in for their examination.
Are you
I'm
having face
personally,
to
I'm
face?
okay.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
good
good.
news! I got my biopsy result.
Mm-hmm.
Negative.
Oh,
Wow, very
that's
good.
great.
Praise
Thank you,
God. Thank
Lord.
God for that.
I'm
Okay.
so relieved.
We're
I was
happy.
in the
We're happy.
hospital 2 days ago to get my biopsy result, and
Mhm.
thankfully, thank God, Alhamdulillah, it's negative. So
Okay.
that's a
Thank-
lot off my chest and my mind because I've been worried about it.
Yeah,
Really, I
right.
was really worried because I wasn't feeling well for
Mm.
several months, and
Mm.
and they were saying I'm just really, really hormonal for my menopausal.
Yeah, it
A-
might
like
be,
like
partner. It
so
might
Aging
be.
unstable.
gracefully,
My hormones are so unstable.
aging gracefully, but we praise God that you're doing good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
by the way, we would like also to greet our I we are very flattered and we are very honored. By the way, my dear wonderful ladies, I am sure you will be surprised with what I will be sharing with you today, because I
Mm-hmm.
myself is surprised that even though we have not been on the air for a few months, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
The last time we had a show, we were our friends who are joining us was only 360 plus. Okay, but now we have 392 friends. See, we
Wow,
have
that's good. That's
392
Wow,
friends and
good,
counting.
even
good.
though we haven't shown ourselves, they
Yeah.
at least have
Yeah,
appreciated the content in the
Mm-hmm.
channel
yes, yes,
and
correct. And
would
we
have.
thank you very much. We thank you very
Well,
much to all
we
our
yeah, we
friends
are
that have been
thankful
supporting
for
us.
your subscription.
Yes, and thank you also for your continued feedbacks and comments.
Yes.
Though we are not seeing it here on the actual comment section, but we are able to receive all those from Facebook and text messages, WhatsApp, and thank you very much for all your support. And we would like also to just say uh, God bless again, because a dear brother, if you can remember si Jay, the one that we are
Mm-hmm.
always promoting
Yeah,
yung
Jay with the
vlog
TV.
Jay
niya.
the singer.
The
Yeah.
same guy.
Yeah, he went home for
Mm-hmm.
a short vacation last month. Okay, and he is now back there in Riyadh working just a few days ago. So Tods, God bless. No, and for those who would like to listen to his music, we have here J Hodilda TV. Okay, so thank you very much for dropping by, and for the short bonding moment. Okay, and anyway, ladies, as we have said earlier, our topic today is mother's love.
Okay,
Okay,
mother's love.
So I know you both ladies are not yet full-fledged mothers. Okay,
Yeah,
but
but we have
some,
a lot of
Definitely
children.
full-fledged mothers.
yes,
But we
yeah,
have a lot of children.
We have a
yes.
lot of children,
Yeah.
Correct.
non-biological.
And that's what they say.
Non-biological.
Yeah, that's what they say. Blessed are those who have no kids because they will have more kids.
I said I with no kids
Yeah.
because you know.
Okay. Now, since you are not full-fledged mothers, my first question for you this afternoon. Oh, by the way, friends, for those who are watching us and viewing us right now, okay, please don't hesitate to share your comments, your feedbacks, and your questions on our
Mm.
comment section. Okay, and we will be very happy to hear from you. And if ever you will be listening to this after the live program, we would be very happy to come back to you and no, to get back to you. Sorry, wrong English. We would be very happy to get back to you. Okay. Now, my
Or
first.
partner, they could also share if they want to share something about
I'll
our
see the
topic this afternoon. They are also welcome, of course. So it's not
Mm,
just a comment, but if they want to share, of course, their ideas about motherhood or the love of the mother, then they
mm,
could share, of
mm.
course. Okay,
Yeah.
we're grateful to receive from them.
Ah. Okay. Part. Said. Ano? What's that? Is that a telescope?
this is the one
Is
that
that the
costs
one?
1.5 million pesos.
Wow.
Okay. So.
So
Okay. Anyway.
congratulations at least. Kaya you had
Yes.
handled that one, that kind of equipment.
Nakakatakot. It's scary to handle.
Oh, handle with care.
Yeah,
Okay.
handle
Now,
with care.
my first question for you ladies would be this: how difficult since you are not full-fledged mothers and you have a lot of foster kids, right? Were there
Mhm.
times that your foster kids would tell you that you are somehow substituting the role of their mothers in their life?
Yeah, in my case, partner, yes, it's because they will keep on telling you, because they call us nanay also, okay,
Mm,
or mother in English, of course. So they will call nay, then of course, palambing gamay, of
mm,
course, with us, and so it seems like they really feel, and we could also share the love also of being a mother through the caring, of course, through the care that we gave also or share to them.
mm. Okay. But like, how would you feel? How would you feel that your foster kids would tell you nanay or mommy, how I wish you were my
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 mother,
mom.
my
Yeah, or like,
mom, we're
some
happy
some
also. We're
kids
happy
some
also.
kids
I'm
would tell me
happy.
you would
But my
you're the
It's
mom
me
that
working
and
now.
the
my
parent that will
friend
always
also are happy.
What is it? That
Okay,
warning.
they're happy. We are happy, of course.
mm,
Me,
They,
I take it very seriously when people call me mommy,
mommy. Mm-hmm.
because when people call me mommy, I,
Very
I I
serious.
take that like a responsibility
mm,
to be a mother also. So I don't want people to just call me mommy just for the heck of calling me mommy.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be serious about it so that I'll be serious about it too, like that. So uh, there were those who were calling me mommy when I was still there in the Philippines. And then later, after several years, started reverting back to calling me mom. Mom, Lizette, like that. So
mm,
I was taking it that they don't think of me as their mommy anymore, and I am just a former teacher to them. So I take that very seriously. Like, sometimes it saddens me that they reverted back to calling me mom instead of mommy. So yeah, yeah, it hurts also. Yeah, it hurts
Yeah.
also because I take it very seriously. I'm
Mhm.
sure the two of you have been witness to how I have, treated and
Oh my
cared for
God.
these kids when I was still there. I really think of them in my heart, in my mind as my children. Yeah.
Mm.
So although thankfully most of them, perhaps around 70-80% of them are still really loyal, and that they still keep in touch and think of me as their mommy, even though now they're now in their perhaps late 30s, early 40s even, no? And
Mhm.
Mm.
still they think of me as their mom. So yeah, I'm thankful that I have impacted somehow their lives such that even more than a decade later, they still give me the same respect as they used to when they were still my students now and we were still together there in the Philippines. So that means a lot to me. And I think for it goes the same, for biological moms, no?
Mm.
That we have to, through the years now, we get preoccupied with our lives, that sometimes we tend to ignore the feelings of our mothers, that they too need to be acknowledged,
Mm.
na
Correct,
that
correct.
that the care, the love that they have, the sacrifices that they have, poured on us while we were growing up, they somehow, deserve to be acknowledged for it
Knowledge.
now that
Yes.
we are older and mothers, most of us mothers and fathers already, by this time. Okay. Because even a word of kindness, a word of affection means a lot. It goes a long way. Because I feel the same for my foster children. No? How much more for mothers with their biological children,
Mm. Correct, correct.
Yeah. Mm.
And yeah, I had that privilege. Even one of your kids would call me Tito.
Yeah. Because, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Tito
Your
and Tita.
Tita
Mhm.
Reals, Tita
Tito and
Mierns,
Tita. Yes,
Tita
until
Mhm.
Je
now.
for my sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Until now, they would call me Tito. Okay.
It's
But
because you
right
could
now,
feel the love,
correct.
partners. You could feel their love, their respect,
Mm.
of course, towards Lysette also.
Yes.
Wherein
Mm.
it seems like they are really the kids, biological kids of
Mm.
Lysette. The care that they gave, not only the respect, but then the remembering you whenever. Because we could read, of course, during your birthday. Okay, and
Yeah.
surprises that they gave you also.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
and
most of them, I take pride when I see that their lives
yeah,
are doing
yeah,
really well. They're doing really
mm,
well. They're successful in their lives. Like several of them are already professional electrical engineers, no? And I remain
mhm,
merely a registered electrical engineer. That gives me a lot of pride, I'm
yeah,
so happy
Mm.
for them that they, there's a saying that if your children, somehow exceeds
disease.
your achievements, that
Mm.
it's a matter, something to be proud of. And I'm very proud of them.
Yeah,
Like
the
Fred,
success that
Jojo.
they have,
Mhm.
the success that they have, you also feel successful. The joy that
Yeah,
they
that's
have, that they
right.
receive,
And they
you
have
also
put up,
feel.
remember I got a house of my own at the age of 42, and most of them got a house of their own at mid 30s.
Thirties.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
me, I got my own house at late 40s. Even Mirna, you were already in your late 40s when you got your own house, a house under
Yeah,
your name, kind of thing.
yes,
But
yes.
them, they get a house when they were in their 30s, and that's something.
Mhm.
That's not a
They even
joke.
have more.
Yes.
They even have several cars with them.
Yeah, exactly. So with the things they have accomplished, you feel like
Yes.
perhaps you did your part in somehow you know
Mm.
bringing them up, so to speak. Although I don't
Mm.
want to take credit for it, but I'd like to believe I somehow help. You know,
Contributed something. Yes.
Contributed
because I
something.
also take pride in what they have reached in their lives. So
Yes,
yeah,
that's true.
That's why I may not communicate a lot. I'm not the type who sends messages to everybody, even to the two of you, remember? But I do scroll my Facebook a lot and just seeing, their posts, everybody's posts, your posts, everybody's posts in Facebook, and seeing what they have been up to, okay, what's happening in their lives is enough for me. Knowing that they are well, knowing that they're doing good, doing well, it's enough for me.
Mm. No,
Also, the
I was,
partner wherein you could feel that not only, of course, the respect, but really the love that they showed,
mm,
as like biological parents. Wherein whatever successes that they have, they share it with you, and
mhm.
whatever problems they have, they also open it with you.
Now,
Okay.
speaking of
Mm.
problems, were there times that your kids would tell you their problems or their concerns that they cannot talk to their moms?
When we were together, when I was still in the Philippines, they do. That's basically how our relationship, our bonding. Yeah? That's the reason why they began calling me mommy. But
Mm.
when I left the Philippines, and they also had lives of their own already, that's when they stopped talking to me about their problems. But when we get together, that once a time, when on vacation and I would go to see them, they would still tell me
Open.
about some things, but not as deeply or as extensively as before. But they do tell me things, what's been happening to their lives, and I appreciate that. That means that they still value what
Value
advice I may
the
able,
relationship. Yeah.
maybe able to give
Mhm.
them, kind of thing. And then that it means that
Or
at
probably
least that they
partner,
still trust me to know about these things. Yeah, because they
or
do have
probably
lives of
partner,
their own.
Yeah.
or
I'm in the
partner the
electrical
respect
store
still,
now.
because that they respect, of course, and of course because they knew that you are there, still there, of course.
Say
Okay,
hello.
and still willing, of course, to give them advices and suggestion, probably.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Where
mean,
did they
So
because
go?
that,
Where
that's
are
why
my partners?
it's a
they,
different
they
thing, of course.
disappeared.
It's really a joy,
Where's the camera?
and
yeah.
we do really appreciate, of course, if
What
ever
what
we
what
are
minute?
not being asked, our advices are being asked, or they shared, of course, their concerns or anything. Okay, be
Mhm.
it a joy or a sadness or anything that is happening, of course, in their lives. Okay, so that's why we are so grateful and thankful for them, of course.
Yeah, but like, was there times, was there times that your children were, or your children told you that mommy or nanay or mom, how I wish you were my mother.
Yes, partner.
Mm-hmm.
Tani, ikaw
So,
lang nanay. Tani, ikaw lang nay ako nanay. Inaba lang.
yes,
Yeah. So,
no.
yes, there was a time, partner, that I was told also that yeah, and the feeling. I don't know what I have shared to her, that she told me that she wished, of course, that I'm the mom, but
Yeah. Ako naman,
of
I
course,
didn't
me
allow
also,
them to
it
to
hurts
say
me.
those things, because I don't want to be thought of as a replacement to their mothers. I want them to have
Yeah, that's why I'm
a
hurt.
lot of respect
I'm hurt
to their
also.
mothers. No matter who I am in their lives, their mothers are their mothers. I,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. That's
yeah,
why
but
I'm hurt also.
what I did was to encourage them to improve their relationship with their mothers.
Yes,
But I told
yes.
them I won't let you think of me as a replacement to your moms. Your moms are
Yeah,
your
because
moms. No,
Mm,
we can never replace, okay,
correct.
anybody,
come, come, come.
okay,
You can just
with our
you can
mom, of course.
You
you
want
can
the
just
thermal image
augment,
of yourself, huh?
right? You can just augment the
Yeah,
care of the
augment,
mother. Yeah,
but
you
we
can
cannot
just
replace,
maybe,
okay,
yeah.
the mother, the
You
life
place the display so that they will.
Maybe you can just what do you call this, pitch
Mm-hmm.
in the areas
Yeah.
wherein the moms cannot do,
Mm-hmm.
because, well, we all know we are not perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are not perfect, and we all have different backgrounds. We all have different approaches in life.
Upbringings,
Yes,
upbringings,
correct, correct. And
environment,
sometimes,
of course.
correct.
Yeah,
And
we're in, of course,
sometimes,
it encompasses our growth,
yes,
of course.
correct.
And that's why, partner, in my case, you feel glad, but at the same time, you are
Mm,
hurt also. Why? Because why is it that that child, of course, could say that kind of word?
mm,
Although you knew, of course, that you had done something into her lives or into his life, but
mm,
then somehow, why is it so that that kind of, or that child, of course, says that word that she or he wishes, of course, that you are his mom. So it might be that, okay, the relationship, okay, the
mm,
relationship was not good. That's why we also tell us what Liza had mentioned, that we need to correct, of course, our relationship, strengthened, smoothened, okay, our relationship, of course, with our parents. Okay,
mm,
it's because whenever there is a problem, of course, especially if the child feels neglected at home, okay,
mm,
especially when the child, of course, not only that they feel it neglected, but then somehow they misses, of course, their parents as well,
mm,
because the parents probably are busy, especially the mom are busy, or probably because the mom is working abroad and there is no communication, that the
Have it
communication is not that
here.
strong. So that might be the case as well.
mm. Speaking of speaking of mothers
This
who are
is
working abroad,
550
okay?
centimeters.
Speaking of minumute ko na sila. Okay. So speaking of mothers who are working abroad,
Mm,
um, of course we cannot blame them for working
mm,
abroad, because we know
yeah,
very well that their main purpose of working abroad is to
Measure
raise and to give their kids a better
the
future,
best.
zero one
Mm,
five.
right? Just
mm-hmm,
like our beloved partner there, she
mm.
is not yet a full-fledged mother, and that's why she cannot be a mother, because she is far away from
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 the partner,
from the
from the
father.
partner.
Yeah. No matter how we wish that she could be
No,
a
no, no,
mother,
around
a real
five
mother,
fifty.
so that we can have nephews or nieces with her, but
Okay, one minute.
nevertheless,
Okay.
but mothers would always sacrifice for
Yeah,
their children, right?
yeah.
So, I would like to ask Lysette,
Ah,
what can you advise to the children of the mothers who have mothers na OFW?
Working, you're working abroad.
this one.
Yeah, busy pa siya. Okay.
Busy
How
pa
about
siya.
you, Mars? What can you advise to the kids who have mothers OFW?
Working abroad. First is they need to understand their
Mm,
mother or their parents. It's because sometimes it's not only the mother, but even the father are also working abroad. Ano. Okay,
mm,
so my first advice is they need to understand the situation. Okay, they need also to build a strong communication with their parents. Well,
mm,
it's because the moment, of course, the communication is not that good or strong. Of course, of course, misses things. Okay,
mm,
so that's another, of
Humidity
course. Then
19%.
they also they keep on reaching their goals in spite and despite that their parents are away. So they never
Translation.
regret, of course, what their parents had advised them. But of course, they need to do their best. Of course, show that they really value what their parents are doing for them. It's because the moment you will not value, of course, what their parents are doing for you, Okay, and you will only look into, oh, the job or the work is more important, the money is more important, looking for money is more important than us. So sometimes, because that is the feeling, of course, of the kids. Okay, whenever you will ask them, it seems like that their work is important, wherein they could stay here in the Philippines and still they could work and have money. But why is it that they will still go abroad and work there? So oftentimes that's their their concern or their answers. So that's why they need to understand really, because no parents, of course, says no parents wants to be away from their children. Okay, nobody. Okay, because they wanted, our parents wanted to be near us. Even
Mm,
in my case, partner, I'm only an hour away from my mother. Okay, but don't you know that sometimes I cannot go home for several weeks. She would often tell me, "Oh, I was supposed to go to CPU and visit you because you don't have time to go home, and I don't know what's happening with you." It's
mm,
because, of course, before we don't have, you knew our situation. We don't have the Wi-Fi before, and we don't have
mm.
also signal at home, and so communication for that matter is very hard.
Very
But
difficult.
then now, oh yeah, difficult. So, but now I'm grateful and thankful that we have Wi-Fi at home, and my mom, of course, is learning rather is learning
To
to
use the
manipulate
internet.
the phone. Yeah, to manipulate the cell phone, use the internet, but then sometimes it's also she tends to forget already because
Mm,
of the old age. So that's why nobody, I do believe that no parents or no mother, of course, wanted to be away from their children. It's because they
mm,
want to see how their kids grow, how their kids, because they said that they want to say to see the first what's this the first birthday, the first time that the children walk, or the first word that their kids, of course, would say, and so on and so forth, of course. Okay, the first, so to speak, na pasaway ng mga anak, they wanted to, yeah, they wanted to see that. But then, because there are cases, of course, like in my niece case, the one
mm,
that died. Okay, she left it a month. Okay, a month after birth, of course, and until now she cannot still move on to the hurt, the pain that she undergoes. So I think she is still having the depression because she is getting bigger. Okay, and still you could see in the post, even me. Okay, I'm only the Lola, but then okay, I could still feel it's
mm,
because she don't want to be away from the child, but then she cannot do otherwise during that time. She needs to work in order, of course, to meet also the need of
support.
the
Yeah.
kids, to support the
Yes.
family. So I do really believe that no parents wanted to be away from the family. That's
Mm,
why we children, we need to understand. Okay, if we are having hard time, so much more, of course, with our parents, much more of the mother, because
mm,
they are the one who carries, okay, in the womb for 9 months, and the
mm,
pain that they had undergone during the process, of course, of childbirth, okay, or even during the conception, is really something that we need to keep in
to
mind.
consider.
The
Yes.
suffering, yeah, the suffering that they had undergone during those periods. So that's
Mm,
why we need not to be emotional as well. Okay, that we will only think of ourselves, but
oh,
rather, okay, we
mm,
need to think of them at the same
correct.
time.
Now, speaking of that one, partner, were there times that your foster kids would
Mhm.
tell you, "Mom or nanay, mommy, you are more strict. You are stricter than my mom."
Well, if there are cases wherein I would say it's because you knew me, of course, that I'm really straight to
You're
the
pretty
point.
strict.
Whenever I don't want, yeah, whenever I don't want, then I would really say it. And so sobra kapag kay nanay mamba, naiba, muna sila. Yeah, through a partner. There are times, of course. Even
Mm.
my nieces, sometimes, okay, they
Mm.
would keep on telling me, why gani si nanay? Okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
So,
But on the opposite side of that, on the opposite side of that, sometimes you would really be very strict with these kids. But were there also times that the real mother would say no, and then
mhm.
these kids would run to you and ask you a favor, and then you said yes?
Partner, I do not tolerate that kind of.
or like
It,
or like they would come to you and say, nanay or mommy, I would ask permission, blah blah blah. And then you would say, why not ask your real mom about it? And then they would
it's
say,
because
no,
I
I
do believe.
won't. I'm afraid because she will not allow me.
I do believe partner of the authority, so to speak.
Mhm.
So it's because I am not in the authority, okay, of whatever decision, or if they will be asking for something, I am not in the authority. I am only there to back up whatever if I am of help. But then in
Mhm.
that case, that there would be the decision, of course, is from the parents. I do not mingle with, or I do not rather intervene. Why? It's
Interfere.
because yeah, interfere or say something. It's because I will just tell them, okay, you go to your parents. If your parents or your mother would say so, no, or yes, then he or she is, of course, the parents, of course, has the right.
Mm.
That's why even again, even in my niece, when let's say for example, I will say no. Okay,
Mm.
the one that stays in my house, even if when we talk about authority, it's my authority. Supposedly, it's because they're staying with me during the time. I would say no, but then whenever they will ask permission from the father or from the mother, and the mother would say yes, then I will just raise my hands. Okay,
So be it.
so be it. Yeah, it's because the parents had say so. So who am
Mm.
I? Because they will say, who are you then? You are just my
Mm.
auntie. Okay,
Yeah.
so it means to say then that the authority is still with the parents.
Mm.
Okay, but
But were
then,
there
mm-mm,
But were
go
there
ahead.
times that with your siblings that, like,
Mm-hmm,
you discussed things that they said yes or no, which you think is not the correct answer,
mm-hmm.
or which you think is not the correct decision? Were there times that you would also argue about it, that say, like, why did you do this, why did you do that to your kid, something like that?
Yeah, there are
Because Filipino
cases
culture, right? Filipino culture, we would our
intervene,
grandmothers would, yeah, our grandmothers would sometimes, go into
intervene
rescue,
with that.
interfere, and said,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
something like that. Or our aunties or uncles would say, okay, go ahead, I'll take care of your mom, or something like that. I'll cover you with your mom. Go ahead, something like
But
that. As
then
long as it's for good.
partner, as I've said, it's the authority, and so when the mom says no or the father would says no, I would tell them, of course, see the reason why your parents say so. If it is yes or if it is no, then I
Mm,
let them understand, of course, why. I will let them open their heart and their mind so they would understand the reason behind why the parents, of course, had say yes or say no
mm.
to that decision, of course.
Ah,
But when I say also, whenever, let's say for example, I could see that and I could feel that the mother is not doing good also, I would tell, okay, daw hindi man to sakto. Okay, so I
mm,
will tell them, yeah, like that. But then it's not in the sometimes when you are angry, sometimes you do discuss in front the
uh,
three of you, probably the mother, you, and the kid. Okay,
uh,
you do the discuss in front of the kid. But then again, sometimes it's much better, of course, to be in after the kids had
mm.
left, of course, or personally you need to talk. to
But
the mother or the father.
now, where was there a time? Was there a time that the parents of your foster kids, would tell you that, oh, my kid is more scared of you compared to us?
I did not experience that.
Really?
Yeah, well, none.
That the kids are more that your foster
They're
kids are more
scared.
scared, yeah, are
Scared.
more scared than you than their
Or
parents.
probably they will just say I'm much strict than their parents, but not
Mm.
scared probably. Because I never heard, of course, that they said I'm afraid of you, but then they would say you are strict. So it's a different thing, of course, right?
Okay.
That they are afraid rather than they will feel that you are strict.
Mm.
Mm.
Because I got a lot of them.
Mm, oh.
Yeah, some parents will tell me, "Oh, my kids are more afraid of you than." Then I said, "Oh no, that could not happen. They are more scared than you than me."
It's because my partner probably because they knew me that my heart, of course,
Mm.
it's somehow a soft one also, so easily to be what do you call this? I'm that person wherein I could easily also understand.
Mm. No. I would like to ask a question for Lizette, but I think she is very busy right now there.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think they're doing something already using the
Yeah.
equipment. Mm.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
don't know if she could hear it.
I
Partner Lysette, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we're setting the camera.
Oh,
okay.
they're setting the
Anyway,
camera.
yeah. Anyway, because I was about to ask her, as an OFW and as a wife, although she is not a full fledged mom yet, but as a wife and
Mhm.
a
Mm.
mother for Mio, okay, is it difficult? What struggles did she has, or does she have, and how did she
Loneliness,
overcome it? Aside from the crying night.
longing, loneliness. I'm always alone. I live alone,
What
remember?
can you
So
what can
most of the
you
time,
suggest?
I have
What
nobody to
can you
talk to. Although Edwin calls every day, Jerilyn calls whenever she feels like it. So most of the time, I don't have anybody to talk to. So it gets a little lonely. And for someone like me who's extroverted, that's a struggle, mind you. That's
Yeah.
why when people ask me to go out, I would like, "Grr, kalad ka rin," tawag ko dito, kalad ka rin. So, because
What
anyone
would
who would
you
invite me to go out, I would really say, yes, let's go.
what would you
Yeah.
advise to the mother who are OFWs and who have kids here in the
Stay
Philippines?
strong. It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of lakas ng loob, kumbaga. So to be able to survive working away from your family, but you do so because you want better lives for your families, right? Because like my mother keeps on saying, no matter how deep the love, if there's no more money, love flies out of the window, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
Mama
because
is also an
they
OFW before,
experience
right?
because mom, yeah, mom is
Mamang is also an
working. Mama is
OFW
yeah,
working
before.
it's a choice between having a life that is comfortable or a life without someone you love, and sometimes the needs outweighs, the emotional part, no, the being practical is outweighs the whatever emotional need that we are craving for, because we want lives to be better, because if you don't have money, really it's a big headache.
Things
That's
would
even
come
a bigger
flying
problem, actually, than having to suffer some loneliness, for periods of time. Yeah, that's the reality. So
around.
people should need to understand
yeah.
that it's a matter of choice. It's not a matter of loving somebody less,
Mm.
just because somebody chose to work abroad to give you a better life. I only understood that when I was, already in my 20s. I did resent my mother for working abroad also while I growing up. But in
That's
the end,
that's
I
my
did realize that if what she did was for the best for me and my sister, and I'd like to believe most mothers are thinking ahead rather than in the now. So that's why they have to make the sacrifice of being away, and children having to grow up without any parents. I need to be in at work now.
okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
now,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
I was about to ask her, how is it growing up without a mom on her side who is an OFW? Although
G1,
of course
C1,
you
C1
and
red.
me, partner Merns,
Yeah,
Hmm.
but this is
the
the call
ano,
to, okay,
knows
there's a
how
We
link.
know the
how
story.
difficult, yeah, knows her struggle about that. But
Yeah, yeah.
we would like to know it straight from her so
Mm-hmm.
that our
We'll take
friends
only images of
are
problematic parts, sir.
also on the same boat, with
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
kids, the kids who have mothers who are OFW,
W.
would also relate much on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Although I
Mm-hmm.
invited some of my friends on the other group
Mm-hmm.
who are also OFWs, because I have another group that most of the moms there, most of the ladies there are also OFWs, and they are single moms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're single moms. I don't know if they are watching right now
Or
or
if they could
maybe
share,
later on.
they could share a comment.
Yeah. So I also
Mm-hmm.
invited them to come and share, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
they are still busy working. So anyhow, okay. Now for but maybe our topic here right now isn't mother's love, but maybe more of a surrogate mother or foster mothers,
Yeah.
right? Because
Mm,
you are a
it's because
foster
we
mother.
are not
I
mothers, but then
Yeah,
and what's this? It's yeah, we are not mothers. Okay, me and Lysette, but rather we
literally.
are just
Yeah,
literally.
literally, you are
Okay,
not
but
mothers, but somehow you
yes.
function as a mother,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Pero Zed, if you have time later on, my
Oh,
question would
I
be,
think she is available.
how difficult is it growing up that your mom is an OFW?
Yeah, it was doubly difficult for us, and me and my sister, because I was so young. No, my father died, and then a few months later, my mom had to go abroad because at that time she also lost her job in the Philippines, and she has two children to raise. It was something she needed to do. Okay, and so I grew up. I was 11. Geraldine was 5. So imagine us not having parents at that age. We shifted from one house to another, living with relatives, and there are times it was okay. There were times it was horrible. So much so that when I was 16, I demanded from my mother that we take an apartment, and Geraldine and I will just live there by ourselves. Because it. I think I was matured enough at that time, to be able to survive without any adult supervision or whatever. So, but in the end, she decided instead of getting an apartment to build a simple house, that time. So that house was built within the year. So we moved there. I was 17. Geraldine was 10.
High school
We moved
days.
there.
It's our high
Yeah,
school
in
days, right?
Sampag. Yeah. So we moved there, and I took care of everything from paying taxes, utility bills, marketing, groceries, even attending PTA meetings for Geraldine and all that. I instantly, took over head of household kind of thing. So it was a struggle. I had to learn how to manage a household so early. I learned how to keep the books, so to speak. I have to account all the money coming in from my mom and going out, all the expenses. At that time, I was so meticulous that when I go to the market, I would list down talong, 10 pesos, okra, 5 pesos. Like,
But partner, if I may cut you up, what can you advise to
Yeah,
children who are on the
it
same
made
age
me.
as you? What can you advise to kids who are on the same boat?
A lot of OFW families, they tend to be abusive financially. Like they think that the money we earn abroad is like water flowing, or something that we pick up on the sides of the streets, and then when they spend it, when we send money, they spend it indiscriminately, you kind of thing.
Mm,
So I advise, be nice. If you want some luxury, go for it, but do so in a media lang. Not,
so
don't abuse it, because it came from the sacrifices, blood, sweat, and tears of your mother or father who works abroad. you know Learn to spend wisely and use the money that is sent to you properly,
mm,
and then do well. Yeah, for the sacrifice that your parents have done for you, sacrifice also a lot of vices. Sacrifice, study well and make something out of yourself, you know rather than live abusively just because money keeps coming in, remittance keep coming in month after month. Because a lot of us here in abroad, especially here in Oman, there's Omanization. In Saudi, there's Saudization and all that. A lot of us are always in the brink, whether we will be terminated or our contracts will not be renewed the next year, kind of thing. We're always on the edge here and working our asses off so that we will not get terminated and all. That means all these good things may come to an abrupt end. And what will happen to you if you don't know how to save? At the early age, I learned how to save. Whenever mama would send money, I would account everything and make sure that it's spent wisely so that money will be saved. Such that when she came home, I saved more than enough money. We were able to buy even a residential lot with the money I saved. You know, that kind, you have to have a mentality of being considerate of
mm,
your parents' sacrifice.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why
That's
they need
right.
to value. Okay, they
Mm.
need to
Yes,
value, of
correct.
course,
Yeah,
what the parents
I
are
grew up
doing.
mostly without parent supervision, but I did realize, that you have to have good, strong foundation principles to live by, and live as honestly and as sincerely as you can. It's the only way you will make something, you know, better out of yourself after all these years, and something that your parents can be proud of, so that later on your parents will feel like all those sacrifices of being away was worth it because my children grew up well,
Mm,
you know,
correct,
kind of
correct.
thing.
Even when we are away, or when I am away, but
Mm.
still they could come up into a person we're in. Of course, their parents are also proud of.
Yes, correct. Wow, our time flies so fast. We're almost at the end of the 1 hour. Okay. Well, anyway, Mears, what is
Mhm.
your final words of wisdom to our kids? Maybe let's focus today on moms who are OFW, since something our discussion has been flowing on that
Yeah.
storyline. Okay,
Mhm.
so Lysette has said her piece.
Reflective,
So yeah,
the
what's your
reflective one.
final advice? What's your final advice to our kids or even young
Um,
adults who have their
mhm.
parents OFWs? Okay, and then
Again,
single mothers to make
as I have,
kids here in the Philippines.
partner, as I have said a while ago, they need to value, okay, what their parents are doing. They need to also, of course, let their love, or show their loves to their parents, concern about their parents as well. That's what Lysette had mentioned a while ago, is they need to spend, of course, wisely what their parents are sending them. So that's why they need to consider everything, of course, with a great value. So the time that they need to share with their parents, even their parents are away. So communicating with them, of course, they need also to let them feel, of course, that they really love them, not only because they could receive the monthly what's this remittance, of course, from their parents, and that. Of course, when they are still studying, please give your best, of course, so that somehow your parents again would be happy, okay, and that not only they will feel happy, of course, but they will be proud of you, that even if they are away, still you are they had brought up somebody, okay, who is also a person with respect, a person with great value, and a person, of course, who really trust not only themselves but also others as well. Okay.
Okay, there you have it, my dear friends. Okay, Seth, we missed you.
Mm.
Actually, Mirna and I were just talking about you before the show that we missed you, and I told her I had a chat with you a few weeks ago, and that you're doing good, and we're happy that you're here today with us, and hopefully you can join us again next
Pasensya na.
Saturday.
like like
It's
like it's
okay.
been busy. Saturdays have been busy also. And then before that I was sick. I had operation as well. A month ago I had my operation. So and biopsy that time. So I wasn't feeling well for a good number of months. So I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
better now, and I'm feeling blessed also that the biopsy result was good, that I don't have cancer cells, alhamdulillah.
Ipahilayo.
So yeah.
Ipahilayo.
So
Yes.
that's
Okay.
So
why.
that's why we are happy also that everything in your with your medical, let's say medical result, of course, are
Mm.
also doing good.
Yes. Bawal ang stress.
Mm.
Okay? Para wala cancer, bawal ang stress. Okay? Oh, ayun na siya.
Wala,
Umalis
wala
na
na.
walang paalam. Umalis na walang paalam.
Sige lang, sige
But
lang.
anyway, sige lang. No problem. We understand her situation. Okay. Well,
Mm.
anyway, friends, thank you very much once again. For those who are continually sharing our links, thank you very much for that one. And
Oh,
we do
ayan,
hope that
bumalik.
you would continue to share our link with your friends so that we can also inspire them. Okay, we have a lot of prayers and meditations here on the vlog. So I am speechless. I don't know what to say anymore. So anyway, continue to be safe because our environment is not yet very safe. Okay,
Mhm.
so keep safe. And I know here in the Philippines, Filipinos here and abroad are having a lot of issues right now. So we could say, I'm sure the
And
ladies are
pray that
very
everything will be all right para baka uwi
yes.
ako sa July. Have mercy, it's been
Oh,
3 years.
Really? Oh, pwede
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
naman.
been 3 years
You
that
will
I
be
Nakabaksinate
haven't
having
been
your
home.
vacation.
Nakavaccinate ka naman. We look forward for a live
Three,
show with
three
all
times
of
na.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think
Mag-live show
Manuel
tayo sa
went
inyo.
home last month, but his
Ah,
mother,
vacation niya.
yeah, vacation
Sino?
niya. He spent almost 2 months, I think. My brother in Oman
Ah,
also,
okay.
but Peter
Okay.
is still there. He
Yeah.
opted not to go home, but rather to
Mm.
stay, of course.
Yeah. Pag nakauwi ka set, mag-ano tayo, mag-recording tayong tatlo ng
Banding.
show o
Yeah,
gala tayo, live
banding.
show tayo. Yeah.
Like
Mag-bonding
the,
moment
the
tayo na
previous
sabay.
or like before.
Yes.
Like we did before.
We
Para
Yeah.
record a show in a
sabay-sabay.
coffee shop or something that we
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
do. Okay?
yeah.
Look forward for that
Ah,
one.
okay.
So,
So
ladies and
thank you
gentlemen,
for
thank you very
watching.
much. And we all love you yesterday. We love you still. We always have. We always will. God bless
God
and keep
bless
safe.
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye bye.
Is it okay now, the settings?